Well, we wanted to go. I know we wanted to review the Dagobah Dave scenario and the trench run, but first, Jake, I think I see something wrong with JBot's restraining bolt. Do you mind taking a look at that? See if it
Oh,
needs any maintenance?
Kinda
yeah. Let
sparks.
me see that. Oh boy, yeah, that needs to be
Yeah,
replaced.
I think something's wrong there.
I'm gonna have to take that off for
Yeah,
a
he was
couple
complaining about
minutes.
it earlier.
Shoot, I gotta take that off for a couple
Yeah.
minutes. I'll be back with a new one. Hang on a
Yeah.
second. Let me just.
Totally chafing. It was totally
All
chafing.
right.
Where's
There
the
you
locks to the door?
Lou, you will go to the Dagobah system.
But I was going into Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lou, go to the Dagobah system.
It just isn't fair.
No, I don't even know what I'm doing here. We're wasting our time.
Your insight serves you well.
Is he gone now?
All right, we do.
Well, I'm going to start with a story. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I walk into the store. I'm all happy, work's over, getting ready to go have all my ships blown out from under me because that's typically what goes on when I go to the game store. But they've got new ships out, a new wave. I don't know what any of these things are, but I'm going to go look at them and they're going to be cool and they're going to be new and shiny. And walk into the store and put my stuff down and walk over to the counter and I see the new ship sitting there. And I'm like, oh wow, these are awesome. Something's wrong, and I can't really put my finger on it. So, and instead of buying them, I went back and sat down and ate my burrito and kind of just mulled things over a little bit and decided, I'll go ahead and make my list for the night and see what it is I'd like to have blown up. And I start pulling my cards out and I start pulling my ships out, and then it hits me. It's staring me right in the face. I walk back over to the counter and I know I'm right. These new ships that Fantasy Flight's putting out, they got much better paint jobs than the ships that I got like a year and a half ago. I mean, I'm not talking about just a little bit of color here and there. I'm talking about real detail. I mean, whoever they've got working on those things now, is actually doing a really good job. I don't know if it's a computer. I don't know if it's a.
I think they use Wookiee slaves actually.
Yeah, I don't know if it's somebody in a sweatshop somewhere on a moon hidden deep out on the outer rim. I don't know, but they've got a lot better. And it really started making me mad. I mean, I spent good money on these ships. I should have an opportunity or something that I could trade these things in and get a new ship, but then I'm like, okay, I get it. Fantasy Flights, they're trying to bring new people in. They're trying to get new people into the game with these new ships. I'll accept it. But, then I sit down on the table and I see these new sparkly bright ships compared to my old ones. I'm like, man, they look like, scrapyard rejects compared to these new ships. and that wasn't where I really got mad. Honestly, I can live with that. I get it. I got old stuff. That's how things go. The new cars, the new models always look better than the old ones. But what really started to get at me, what really started to eat away at me is that you've got people out there, and you know who you are. You've got people out there who are not satisfied with these brand new paint jobs that I think are great. No. They have to take these ships home and repaint them. and I'm not talking about some little back alley spray tan. No, I'm talking about somebody who's like a Crystal Brush nominee who's picking out every little detail on that thing, putting call signs and kill marks and flames. And heck, I even saw a guy in the store the other week that had lights and LED in his ship, and that's not right. Because any one of you people who's a long-term gamer knows, and you know this is a fact, that hand-painted figures always get better dice results than ones that come right out of the box. We all know this. And you know what that means? You know what that tells me? These people are cheating. They're doing it on purpose. They're painting their ships because they know, right? They are painting for an advantage, and that's a shame. And you know what? I'm sitting there, I'm stewing, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If my paint jobs on my ships somehow offend your delicate sensibilities, well then maybe, just maybe, you need to walk your special self back across those railroad tracks to your fancy store with the bright lights and the classical music and the little old lady pushing a cart up and down the aisle handing out tea and crumpets. because maybe I like the way my ships look. Maybe I like the fact that my ships look like they've been hand dipped into the porta potty at the local construction site and then wiped off with a dirty rag and then put on the table.
It
That's
sounds like
character. My ships, they got character. That missing wing, that's battle damage. That's experience. My ships, they've been through stuff. They've seen things that your fancy ships with their fancy paint jobs couldn't possibly understand. Heck, some of those guys look like they've never even left a showroom with that ship. You know, that's ridiculous. I'd be afraid, personally. I would be afraid to fly a ship that's well painted. I'd have to park it way out at the edge of the map just to keep lowlifes from dinging the paint with their door. You know, and that's a shame. That is a shame. And I think those people should be ashamed of themselves for putting that on the table and making the rest of us normal people who are willing to accept the stuff that Fantasy Flight gives us. They're putting us to shame, making us feel somehow not worthy of playing against them on the table. So that's what I'm mad about this week. It's not really an angry rant. It's more of just a
No,
it's
not angry. That wasn't angry.
No, this is just I
wasn't
need
bitter or
people to I need people to understand that this is a scourge on our fan base, and if we can eradicate it, that would be good. But at the same time, I saw this really cool paint job for a YT 2400 online, and if anybody out there just wants to change my opinion on these things, they could, chalk one up for me. But I'd be willing. I would be willing to reconsider my opinion on this topic.
Someone might need to send him some paint for his dice to get better. I have to be happy.
Yeah,
and I
trust
want
me,
it
the
to
way
be
my
happy.
dice go, they need to go ahead and carve a couple more symbols into them before they paint them, because I'm going to need all the help I can get.
We need a custom painted hawk set.
Actually, I've seen some really cool ones out there, and it really does bug me. I mean, come on, that's too much. These figures are already painted. That's why I'm playing this game, right? That's why we're all playing this game, because we've already spent a fortune on 40K figures and fantasy figures and War Machine and whatever War XYZ game you want to call, and spent countless hours of our lives hunched over a table painting. Why would you do this with ships that have already got a paint job on them? And most of them are really nicely painted. I mean, come on.
I have one of my degrees is actually Bachelor of Fine Arts in painting, and I painted up orcs and goblins for fantasy, and I'm told I have the biggest, most painted orc and goblin army in the state of North Carolina. But when it comes to X-Wing, I don't want to paint anything. They're pre-painted. I've got all the Wave 1 T65s with their crappy paint jobs. And
that new one, I guess, that's coming out, that's very fancily painted. It really is going to make my old X-Wings look just horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect. I do have a spare restraining bolt here, and if we're ready for this, let me just kind of get that. All right,